Welcome back, dreamer. Tonight, we will be entering the city of forgotten dreams, where your body softens, your spirit listens, and your astral path begins to open. In this moment, sleep is more than rest. It is an astral passage beyond the veil. Before you get into your bed and relax, feel free to like the video and subscribe for future astral sleep journeys. In this journey, you'll arrive through the soft mists beyond memory. You'll pass the whispering streets, where forgotten names still echo. You'll visit the garden of old thoughts and climb the tower of breaths. And finally, you'll reach the bell that rings without sound. Until sleep welcomes you completely. The world around you is fading, slowly, gently, like fog wrapping around a lantern, like memory slipping from the edge of a dream. There is no sky, no ground, only mist. It drifts softly across your skin, cool, but not cold. A breath without direction. You don't remember walking here, but you are here, standing in the stillness, floating in the quiet. This is the threshold, the place between your last thought and the city of forgotten dreams. You take a step forward. The mist parts slightly, but not with sound, only with feeling, like it recognizes your presence. With every breath, the air becomes thicker, not with heaviness, but with meaning. The mist carries whispers, but they do not speak in words. You feel them instead, like distant memories brushing against your shoulders. Familiar, but unreachable. You keep walking. Soft lights begin to blink in the distance. Pale yellow, gentle blue, faint lilac. They don't light your path. They simply float, like lost stars, waiting to be remembered. You follow them, slowly. There is no hurry here. This is not a place of time. This is a place of arrival. With each step, you move further away from waking, further into the quiet folds of the astral realm, where sleep deepens and the city begins to breathe, not loudly, but with memory. You reach the edge of something, a soft wall of arching light, and behind it, a city waits, but not to be seen, to be felt. The mist grows warmer. The light pulses once, and you know you've arrived. The mist begins to thin, not by your doing, but because the city is letting you in. Up ahead, rising from the soft, glowing fog, you see it, a vast stone archway, weathered, ancient, and yet impossibly still. Its form is smooth at the top, but fractured along the base, as though it was once broken, not by time, but by memory. Its surface shimmers faintly under the astral haze. Veins of silver light pulse across the stone, like a heartbeat trapped inside forgotten rock. You step forward. The air around you thickens with meaning, not resistance, just presence. Breathe in. Feel how the air cools your lungs. Taste the faint metallic sweetness that lingers in the mist, like stardust, like ancient rain. Your feet slow as you approach, not out of fear, but reverence. This is not just a gate. It is an agreement, a contract between you and something older than language. You raise your hand. The stone responds before you touch it. A ring of light ripples outward from the center of the arch. The carvings shimmer briefly, symbols from dreams you've never remembered, but have always belonged to. Your fingers brush the edge. The texture surprises you, not cold, not rough, but soft, like paper worn down by centuries of hands searching for meaning. Close your eyes for a moment. Let yourself listen. There is no voice, no command, but a feeling rises, like someone, somewhere, is waiting on the other side. Not someone you know, but someone who remembers you. Take a step forward. The mist presses gently at your back, urging you. One more step. Your head passes beneath the arch, then your shoulders, your chest. As your whole form crosses through, the world hums for just a moment, like a quiet bell sounding inside your ribs. Then silence. You stop. The air is different now, heavier, still, full of something unseen. Behind you, the archway glows one last time, then fades into the mist. You look ahead. The pathway curls inward, deeper into shadows that flicker with soft blue light. The architecture is unclear, part memory, part illusion. Walls that breathe, doors that shift when you blink. But you are not afraid. You are expected. The ground beneath you feels firmer now, still soft, but certain. Take another step. This time the stone doesn't shimmer, it listens, and with that, you begin your walk into the city, not to discover, but to remember. The path narrows as you move forward. The stones beneath your feet shift in texture, no longer smooth, but gently ribbed, like the pages of a book you're only now beginning to read. And with each step, a faint murmur rises. At first you think it's the wind, but there is no wind, only breath, yours, and something else's. The buildings around you begin to take form. Low walls of soft gray stone, latticed with thin veins of light, pulsing slowly, as though they are alive, breathing with you. Some are tall and curved like sleeping towers. Others squat and bent like thoughts that never found their shape. No windows, no doors, only surface. But on those surfaces, you begin to notice movement, not physical, not even visual, but energetic, as if each wall holds the memory of something you once were or almost became. You walk slower, because now you hear it. The streets are speaking, not in words, but in waves, soft pulses that roll up from the ground and through your legs, then your chest, then your skull. And somehow you understand, they're whispering your name, not the name you answer to in the waking world, but the name your spirit knows, a name made of intention, of essence, of who you are when all else is silent. The whispers don't come from one place. They emerge from everything, from the bricks in the wall, the light between the shadows. Even the air itself seems to know you. You pause, and the city pauses with you. Stillness. Then, a sound just barely heard, a footstep, but not yours. You turn, but there's no one there, only your own echo reflected back through time. You begin to walk again, this time slower, not because you're unsure, but because the city is responding. With each step, a faint glow follows your heels, footprints of light that last only seconds before fading back into the stone. You pass under a hanging arch made of braided light. It vibrates as you walk beneath it, and in that moment, a memory arises in your chest. Someone calling to you from a place you can't place, from a dream you never remembered until now. You don't try to hold on to it. You simply let it move through you, and the city rewards you. The next corner opens into a quiet plaza. No people, no movement, But in the center, a fountain, its base made of obsidian, waterless, yet glowing from within. You approach. As you near it, you hear something, a hush of layered voices, too many to count. Some are familiar, some you've never heard, and yet all of them seem to carry pieces of you. They don't speak to you, they reflect you. Each tone, each breath is a mirror. You sit beside the fountain, not to understand, but to remember without remembering. This is the city of forgotten dreams, not because it hides your past, but because it protects the parts of you too tender to name. You close your eyes, and for the first time, you feel still, not lost, not searching, just present. And in that stillness, the streets soften, the whispers quiet, because they know you heard them, and that was enough. You rise slowly from the edge of the fountain. The silence around you isn't empty, it's deep, full, like standing inside a memory too sacred to speak. As you begin to walk again, you notice something in the distance, not ahead of you, not behind, but above. The rooftops of the city are starting to glow, not with electricity, not with flame, but with floating orbs of light. Lanterns, dozens, then hundreds, suspended above the curved tiles of forgotten towers, drifting like fireflies too patient to flicker. Each one pulses gently, gold, pale rose, softest indigo. You pause in the middle of a narrow street. The buildings lean inward here, like they're listening, and between their peaks, the lanterns hover. Just above the silence, you look up. One of them drifts lower, only slightly, as if responding to your gaze. Its shape is imperfect, handmade. Its paper is wrinkled with time. Its glow, quiet. It moves with breath, but not yours alone. Take a slow inhale. Let your chest expand gently. Let your body relax. As you exhale, watch the lantern above shift. It moves in rhythm with you, as though it is tethered to your breath. More begin to lower, not descending toward you, but making themselves visible, like truths waiting for you to be still enough to notice. You walk slowly through the street, looking up, watching the soft orbs drift between the roofs. None of them touch, none of them fall. They simply float. Some of them carry markings, painted letters in ink that runs slightly from moisture and age. Others are blank, as if they're waiting to be written by your passing presence. One turns toward you as you pass beneath. Its glow brightens for just a moment, and you feel a flicker of emotion in your chest. Was that joy, regret, or simply memory? You don't try to define it, you just let it be. Ahead, the rooftops open into a small balcony square. From here, the city stretches out, silent and endless, and above it, thousands of lanterns now drift in the violet sky, forming slow spirals, patterns too old to decipher. But something inside you remembers, not the meaning, but the feeling that these lights are fragments of dreams long released. Some yours, some not, but all of them part of this place. Take a moment here. Let your shoulders relax. Let your mind drift upward like the lanterns. Let go of needing to know where you're going. For now, just breathe and watch, because sometimes sleep doesn't come from closing the eyes, but from looking up and remembering how to float. You leave the balcony square slowly. Lantern light still lingers in your eyes, but something else now pulls you forward. Something denser. The street curves downward, not steeply, but with intention. Stone walls rise slightly on either side. Their surface is smoother here, cooler, as though untouched for centuries. As you descend, the air grows quieter, not heavier, but deeper. The silence has weight now, not like pressure, more like presence. You sense it before you see it. Something is here, not watching, not waiting, simply existing. You turn the final corner, and there it is, a circular courtyard, surrounded by black stone arches, open to the sky, though no stars can be seen above. At the center, a figure, still tall, unmoving, clothed in layers of woven light and shadow. Its form is human, but undefined. You cannot see a face, only the impression of a head turned slightly, as if listening to something only it can hear. This is the memory keeper. You stop a few steps from the edge of the circle and wait. You don't speak, you don't move, because something within you knows. You already have. The figure raises a hand, slowly, without sound, and as it does, a soft pulse runs through the ground beneath you. Not a vibration, a recognition. Images flicker in your mind, but not as pictures, as sensations. The smell of a room you once loved, the sound of a breath taken in fear, the warmth of a hand you let go of too soon. These aren't memories you've thought about in years, maybe lifetimes, but here in front of this silent being, they return, not to haunt you, but to be witnessed. The figure steps closer, and though its face is still veiled in soft light, you feel its gaze land gently on your chest, where your breath rises, where your spirit listens. It doesn't ask who you are, it shows you who you've been. A low tone hums in the air, like a distant bell struck underwater, and suddenly, your legs grow softer, your hands warmer, your shoulders lighter, because something you carried here, something unseen, has now been received. The figure turns its head slightly, and in your mind, you hear a whisper, not in words, but in knowing. You are not what you forgot. You are what you remembered long enough to become. Then silence. The memory keeper bows its head and begins to dissolve, not vanish, but rejoin. The light in its robes scatters upward like floating dust, and the shadow falls gently into the stone beneath it, until nothing remains except a small flicker in the center of the circle. You approach it. It's not an object, it's a warmth, and when you step into it, you feel held, not by the keeper, but by yourself. You've been seen, and in being seen, you can now move forward. You turn slowly and walk out of the courtyard, lighter, quieter, more complete. The path ahead curves upward now, towards somewhere new, somewhere waiting. You follow the rising path. The stone beneath your feet is smoother here, darker, polished by time, or perhaps by the dreams of those who walked before you. The lanterns above have grown quieter, their glow softer, as if dimming out of respect for what lies ahead. Ahead of you, a corridor. Its entrance is tall, arched, wrapped in ivy made not of leaves, but of light. The moment you step through, everything changes. The temperature shifts, cool, not cold. The air feels denser, but only around your skin, like walking through layers of silk, each one holding a different breath from the past. You move slowly. The corridor stretches forward without end, or so it seems. On either side, tall stone walls rise above you, and upon them, faces not carved, not drawn, but formed from light and shadow, flickering in and out, as if projected by memory itself. Some are still, others shift slightly. None speak, none blink, but all look past you like dreams that once lived inside you and are now returning for only a moment. You pass a woman with eyes that remind you of a decision left behind. Her expression is gentle, but unfinished. Next, a child, laughing silently, then fading. A man you cannot place, but when you see him, your throat tightens, and you don't know why. You walk slower, because with every step, the faces become more familiar, not from this life, but from some place deeper. The corridor doesn't lead you somewhere. It leads you through yourself. One of the faces turns just slightly, and you feel it. It was you, at a time you cannot name, in a place that no longer exists, but you recognize the feeling. Hope, longing, maybe even regret. You stop in front of it. It flickers once, then softens into the wall. Gone, but not lost, just acknowledged. You keep walking. The corridor narrows slightly. Now the faces are closer. One of them appears only for a second, a smile you thought you'd forgotten, but it stays in your chest long after it fades. This is not a place of grief. It's a place of witnessing. You are not meant to remember everything. You are only meant to feel what remains. Breathe in, let the silence speak. Breathe out, let the memories pass. Let them rise, let them fall, let them go. At the end of the corridor, the light shifts again. Not brighter, but clearer. The walls begin to blur. The faces melt back into stone. And soon, you find yourself standing alone, but not empty, because now you carry every face with you, not to hold, but to honor. You step forward, and as the corridor dissolves into open space, you realize you've just passed through time, your time, and something within you has softened. You feel quieter, not because there's nothing left, but because what's left is enough. You step out of the corridor and into a quiet, open space. It feels larger than it is. A square surrounded by low stone walls, overgrown with thin, silvery vines. Their leaves shimmer softly, not with light, but with memory. At the center of the square stands a fountain, but not one made of stone or marble. It's formed entirely from liquid light. The structure seems impossible, as though it holds its shape not through gravity, but through intention. The base ripples gently, wide and shallow, its surface perfectly still. You approach, and as you do, the sounds begin. Soft whispers, layered over one another, not coming from the fountain, but from somewhere within you. They echo upward, rising into the air like breath escaping thought. You pause at the edge. The whispers aren't words at first, just tones, frequencies, like fragments of dreams that never reach the surface. But the longer you stand there, the more they begin to take shape. You hear a sentence from years ago, a phrase you once spoke or heard but forgot, then another, a laugh, a breath before a choice, a goodbye you never finished saying. Your chest tightens, not with sadness, but recognition. This fountain doesn't contain water. It contains remnants of thoughts you left behind, of reflections you didn't know were still echoing. You kneel slowly beside it and look into the liquid light. At first you see nothing, just gentle ripples circling outward, moving in a rhythm that matches your breath. Then, a flicker, a face, yours, but younger, wider eyes, a softness you forgot you ever had. It fades, replaced by another image, not visual, but emotional. A time you almost said no, but didn't. A moment where silence shaped your path more than sound. You lean in closer. The whispers shift again, becoming voices now. Not loud, but clear. Some are yours, some are not, but all of them feel like they belong here. Take a deep breath. Let the sound move through you. Don't try to make sense of it. Let your thoughts echo. Let them rise and fall. Let them scatter. You dip your fingers into the edge of the light. It welcomes you, not as something foreign, but as something familiar. The surface doesn't break. It embraces. Your hand glows softly, then settles, and you feel it, a weight lifting from your chest. Not because anything changed, but because something inside you was finally heard. The fountain hums now, a low, resonant tone, almost like a song, but without melody, only vibration. It moves through your bones, through your lungs, and you begin to understand. This place was not meant to tell you anything. It was meant to let you listen to your own mind, to the quiet places within you that speak only in stillness. You sit beside the fountain, no longer searching, just breathing, just receiving, and the longer you stay, the quieter your thoughts become, until even the echoes fade, and all that remains is space and silence and you. You rise slowly from the fountain's edge, your fingers still tingling from where they touch the liquid light. Your breath steady now, your mind quieter than it's been in a long time. You begin walking again. The path ahead is narrower now, flanked by low walls made of a smooth black stone that reflects no light. But the air around them glows, not from the sky, not from lanterns, but from symbols. They float just above the surface of the stone, glowing faintly, like warm embers breathing in the dark. They shimmer in no language you know, yet something deep inside you recognizes their rhythm. Curved lines, broken circles, marks that seem to shift when you blink. You stop beside one wall. Let your eyes rest on a single cluster of glowing glyphs. They don't say anything to your mind, but your chest tightens gently, like something unspoken inside you has been touched. You reach out your hand, and as your fingers approach the floating symbols, they pulse once, then settle. They don't ask you to read them. They ask you to feel them. Close your eyes for a moment. Let the warmth of the signs move through your palm, then up your arm, then into your breath. Memories don't rise, emotions do. A sense of belonging to something you've never seen before, a forgotten temple. A childhood dream you never understood, a melody you hum without knowing where it came from. You open your eyes and walk on. The walls curve gently inward now, like they're guiding you. The signs shift and multiply. They're no longer stationary. They float beside you as you walk, soft symbols swimming through the air, rearranging, breathing. One of them drifts close to your shoulder. You feel a warmth, like someone you love just thought of you. Another hovers near your face. It glows violet, and as you look at it, you feel a deep quietness settle over your mind. These are not signs to read. They are signs to remember. You keep walking, and soon the walls open up again. But the symbols remain. Now they gather in the air above, forming soft spirals, then dissolving. And every time they disappear, a thought, a moment, flickers behind your eyes. A place you almost went, a thing you almost said. You realize these are the languages your soul speaks. when your mind is asleep, and in this place they are fluent. You come to a small pillar at the center of a stone platform. Upon it, a single glowing mark. Unlike the others, this one is still, and it hums gently. Without thinking, you step forward and place your hand on top of the pillar. The symbol beneath your palm pulses once, and inside your body, a silence deeper than thought opens like a window. You don't know what it means, but it knows you, and that is enough. The air around you softens again. The symbols fade, but something lingers. An understanding, not spoken, not written, but etched softly into your being. You are walking a language not of words, but of resonance, and now it walks with you. The symbols have faded now, but their warmth still lingers in your chest. Soft, steady, like a lantern tucked just beneath your breath. You walk a few steps more, and the path narrows, then curves. You see it ahead, a staircase, not grand, not ornamental, but carved into the stone like it had always been waiting. It rises in a slow spiral, disappearing into a soft violet mist above. There are no railings, no destination in sight, just the spiral and the silence. You place your foot on the first step. It gives slightly under your weight, as though remembering you, welcoming you. You take another step, and as you do, a feeling stirs, a faint hum in your ribs, a sense of something returning. Not a memory, but a wish, a desire you once held so tightly, then gently let go of, maybe out of fear, maybe because you didn't know how to carry it. But now, it rises. With the step, the spiral is alive. It doesn't move, but you feel the space around it shift. With each rotation upward, you pass through a ring of old intentions. They're not spoken aloud, but felt. A love you never pursued, a path you almost took, a dream you placed quietly on a shelf, telling yourself, maybe later. And the farther you climb, the clearer they become, not with guilt, but with softness, as if the spiral is whispering. Even the things you left behind still shaped you. You pause for a moment, let your hand trail along the smooth inner wall. It pulses gently beneath your fingers. The stone is warm, not from heat, but from holding. It has held thousands of footsteps, thousands of unspoken hopes. Now yours are part of it. You close your eyes briefly and breathe. As you open them again, you notice something new. Small lights hovering just above certain steps. They flicker when you near them. You step on one, and instantly, a wave of emotion moves through you. Not overwhelming, just true. You remember a version of yourself, younger, trying so hard to begin something, but not knowing where. You see that self. You smile, and the light passes. You take another step, another flicker. This time it's stillness, a choice you didn't make. Not because you were afraid, but because you love something else more. You didn't fail. You followed what mattered most in that moment. You keep climbing. The spiral narrows now. The mist around it thickens, but you feel lighter. Every step seems to lift a layer from your body, an old expectation, a burden you didn't know you were still carrying, gone. By the 10th step, you're no longer thinking about the top. You're just moving, not forward, but into alignment. Each step reconnects you to yourself, to your path, to the things you once wanted and maybe still do. You look down for a moment and you can no longer see where you started, but there is no fear, because now the climb isn't about arrival, it's about return. A return to softness, to permission, to the quiet echo of intention, unjudged and lovingly remembered. You reach a platform, not large, just enough for you to pause. The mist parts slightly, revealing a soft dome of pale crystal above you. It pulses, slowly, like a breath. You place your hand on your chest, feel your own rhythm, and realize, for the first time in a long while, they match. You're ready to continue, and the path waits. You step off the spiral platform and find yourself standing before a doorway made of nothing, just air and the faint shimmer of curved space. You reach out, and though there's no surface, something parts, welcoming you. You step forward, and the world changes again. The room you enter is circular. No walls, no ceiling, just open sky above, but not the kind you know. There are no stars, no moon, just layers of soft, swirling light, amber, violet, deep blue, moving slowly like oil on water. You realize this isn't the sky outside you, it's the sky inside you. The space is silent, but not still, and in the very center of this chamber, a single seat, simple, smooth, formed from translucent stone that glows faintly, as if lit from within. You feel drawn to it, not by curiosity, but by calling. You sit. The surface is cool at first, but it warms beneath you, as though recognizing your weight, your presence. And when you close your eyes, you see it, not darkness, but light that pulses softly behind your eyelids, that responds to your breath. Each inhale deepens the glow. Each exhale softens it. You're not observing stars. You're observing yourself, your inner rhythm, your inner galaxy, your inner astral light. Let your breath become slower. Let your body become heavier. Let your thoughts quiet. Now bring your awareness to the center of your chest, not to your heart, but just behind it. There, you'll feel a flicker, a soft pulse, your own light. It may be small, it may be dim, but it is ancient. It has never gone out. Let it grow. Don't force it. Just let it, with every breath, imagine it expanding, like a lantern behind a veil, slowly lifting the cloth. The room around you begins to mirror it. The swirling lights above respond, turning inward, not to you, but with you. You are no longer watching. You are part of the light. Memories begin to flicker again, not as events, but as tones, colors, feelings. The day you first felt wonder, the night you feared silence, the moment you realized you were more than your thoughts. They pass gently through you, like stardust carried by wind, and each one leaves you lighter. You place your hand over your chest, feel the glow inside, and know this is who you are beneath the noise. Not what you do, not what you've said, not even what you feel, but what you radiate. And that light is always there, even when forgotten, even when dimmed, even when hidden. It waits, not to be found, but to be remembered. You sit in stillness. For how long, you don't know, because here, time dissolves, only presence remains. And when you open your eyes again, the swirling sky is gone. The room is quiet, but you are not alone. You carry a glow now, soft, internal, and it will move with you wherever you go next. You leave the observatory slowly. Your steps are quieter now, not because the stone is softer, but because you are, that glow inside your chest hasn't dimmed. It moves with you like a steady note held just beneath your breath. You walk down a short sloping path, and soon you see them, the arches, massive stone structures curving high overhead. They stretch across the walkway like bridges, but they hold no roads, no rooms. They are not made to carry, they are made to resonate. As you approach the first arch, you hear it, a soft tone, not from an instrument, not from a speaker, but from the stone itself. A long humming note, low and warm. It moves through your body before it reaches your ears, and as you pass beneath it, it shifts. The tone deepens, then lifts, responding not just to your presence, but to your emotions. Each step becomes a conversation. You pass beneath the second arch. This one hums a higher note, thin, clear, like glass struck gently in still air. It touches something in your memory, a time you felt weightless, a moment where everything seemed possible. You pause for a breath, and the sound around you softens. The arches are listening, and they are singing back to you. You keep walking, arch after arch, each one a different tone, a different layer of yourself, low notes that soothe, high notes that stir. Some vibrate through your ribs, others pass like a whisper through your throat. One seems to match your heartbeat. For a moment you stop, just to feel it. That alignment, like the whole corridor has become a musical mirror. You glance upward and notice small carvings along the curve of each arch. Not words, not images, but waveforms, frozen sound, as if every emotion that ever passed through here has been etched into the structure itself. You press your fingers to one of them. It pulses, not with power, but with memory, a specific feeling, longing for something unnamed and perhaps never needed. Still, you honor it. You walk on, and the arches shift again. Now they're closer together. The tones overlap, a gentle symphony of emotion. Somewhere between music and breath, you begin to hum softly, without realizing, not a melody you know, but one the space has offered to you, and the arches respond. The notes shift, dancing with yours. You are not a visitor here. You are part of the harmony. The final arch rises taller than the rest. Its tone is silent, but the absence of sound carries a fullness. You pass beneath it and feel it settle into your bones, not as music, but as peace. The corridor opens into a wide circle once more. The air is still, but your body hums with resonance. You are vibrating now, not loudly, but completely. You've been played, not as an instrument, but as a presence, and now you are in tune. You step beyond the final arch, and immediately, the world changes again. There is no sound here, but there is pressure. You look around. You're standing in the center of a vast open crossroad, wide and silent. Its surface smooth as glass, yet warm beneath your feet. The space is held within 4 great corridors, each one stretching into soft mists that shimmer with different hues. One glows a deep amber, another pulses in silvery blue. The third wavers between violet and rose, and the last is nearly invisible, outlined only by the faintest flicker of golden sparks. You don't know where they lead, but something inside you does. You turn slowly, eyes scanning each path, and that's when it begins. The pull, not from the ground, but from within, a gentle tug in your chest, a faint calling. as if some part of you, still lives on one of those roads. You walk slowly toward the first path, the one bathed in amber. The air around it feels warm, thick with sweetness, like the scent of forgotten summers, like laughter you haven't heard in years. As you near, shapes flicker in the mist, a painting never finished, a sentence left unsaid, a decision that once begged for courage and never got it. You feel it in your ribs, that tightness, not regret, but memory. You reach out your hand, the mist leans into your palm, and for a moment, the warmth turns to flame, not burning, but illuminating. This path is lined with the rises you never let yourself begin. You step back and turn to the second path, the one pulsing silver blue. Cool air brushes against your skin, not cold, but clarifying. You see flickers of what could have been, a home in a place you never lived, a conversation that never happened, a version of you that turned left instead of right. This road isn't filled with sadness, it's filled with silence. And inside that silence, you hear a faint echo, a name, your name, spoken the way someone once imagined calling it. You blink it away, a gentle color that feels like dreams just before waking. You step toward it, and the mist shimmers like tears caught in sunlight. Here you feel tenderness, hands held once, then let go, letters written and never sent, songs you hummed to yourself when no one was watching. This road carries the weight of softness never given, and it doesn't ask you to walk it. It simply invites you to remember. Then you turn to the final road. At first you can't even see it, only a faint glitter, like stars struggling through fog. But as you focus, it reveals itself, not with light, but with breath, your own. It reflects your rhythm, your fear, your hope. You step to its edge, and your body feels weightless, like if you took one step forward, you might not return. But you don't walk. Not yet. You return to the center. Each one holds pieces of you, and that's when you realize this is not a place of choosing, it's a place of honoring. You're not here to decide who you should have been. You're here to feel the paths your spirit once reached for, and to forgive the ones it let go. You close your eyes, take a long, soft breath, and as you exhale, the crossroads begin to dim, not disappear, but return to sleep. They've shown you what they needed to, and now it's time to move forward. You open your eyes, and a fifth path now glows faintly ahead, one that wasn't there before, formed not by past intentions, but by present peace. You step forward, and the crossroads fade behind you, quiet, honored, and whole. You walk for a while in silence. The path ahead is soft now, not stone, not sand, but something in between. It gives slightly beneath your feet, like breath trapped in fabric. The air grows lighter, not in color, but in feeling. You pass beneath a long colonnade of curved stone, each arch open to the sky, but the sky gives nothing back. No stars, no clouds, just space. And then, ahead, a structure not tall, not grand, but quiet, modest. It looks almost like a forgotten study. Walls curved gently inward, roof formed of pale crystal, but your eyes are drawn not to the structure itself, but to the window. It glows faintly from within, not with light, but with attention. It sees you before you see yourself. You step closer, and the space around you stills. No sound, no movement, only that window. It rests within a frame of smooth, matte stone, oval-shaped, sloping slightly inward. You feel it before you reach it, a warmth that doesn't touch your skin, but surrounds it, like something recognizing you. You stand before it and pause, because what's on the other side is not the world. It's you, not your reflection, not your image, but your presence. You don't see your face. You see your being, moments layered upon moments, flickering like candlelight behind glass, a laugh from childhood, a gaze you held too long, a breath you took before walking away. They're all there, not in sequence, not in story, but in texture, in light. The window doesn't judge. It simply remembers. You place your hand gently on the glass, and it warms softly. The glow beneath your fingers expands, as if responding to your willingness, and suddenly you see a memory, not with detail, but with weight, a time you doubted yourself, when you dimmed your own light, just to avoid being seen. You inhale slowly, and the window responds, not with comfort, but with clarity. It doesn't erase the pain, it holds it gently. Then another flicker, a moment when you were brave, not loudly, but quietly. When you stood in silence, knowing no one would notice, but you noticed, and the window did too. This is not a mirror, this is a witness, a space that holds everything you've been. Without asking you to change, you sit on the stone bench just beneath the frame and lean your head back, eyes half closed, breathing, letting the images drift. They come not as stories, but as colors: amber for courage, blue for loss, soft pink for the things you've never said out loud. You don't reach for them. You let them come. You let them pass. You let them land. And in that quiet surrender, you feel seen, not for what you've shown the world, but for what you are. When no one is watching, you stay there a while. No need to move. No need to understand. You and the window, in shared silence, both remembering, until slowly, the light begins to dim, not disappear, just settle, as if the window has said, "That's enough for now." You stand, and the glow follows you for a moment, then gently fades, but something lingers inside you, a trace of light behind your ribs, a hum of acknowledgement. You walk away slowly, and the path opens once more. You don't look back, because you don't need to. The window has remembered you, and now you remember yourself. You follow a narrow path, winding gently through low mist and warm air, each step soft, each breath easier than the last. The stone beneath your feet begins to change, from polished marble to smooth earth to something softer still. You look down, moss, thick and springy, cool beneath your steps. It gives without resistance, and ahead, you see it, a garden, not one trimmed or planned, but wild, organic, grown from the very bones of thought. You step forward. The air is thick with scent, not of flowers alone, but of memory, of paper left too long in the sun, of soil still holding the heat of an old idea, of breath exhaled during silence. The first plant you see is a spiral-shaped bloom. Its petals are translucent, shifting color as they move, violet to silver, then to a blue so deep it feels like dusk. You crouch down. The flower leans toward you, as if it recognizes the weight you carry. You don't touch it, but you feel it. A thought, once whispered and never spoken, still alive, still blooming. The garden is alive not just with light, but with intention. Everything here has been grown from you, from dreams you left behind, from worries you buried, from truths you were too afraid to say out loud. You move deeper. Tall reeds sway as you pass, their tips glowing faintly like candlelight. Each one bends toward you, brushing gently across your shoulders. They don't ask anything. They simply acknowledge. You come to a clearing. In the center, a tree, wide, low, its branches thick with tiny orbs. Not fruit, not flowers, but memories. Encased in soft light, you walk beneath it, and one orb flickers brighter. You reach up, fingers trembling just slightly, and touch it. A warm wave moves down your arm, and in your mind, a thought returns, not one you've forgotten, but one you've ignored, a truth you've felt often, but never quite believed. You are allowed to grow, even from pain. You release the orb. It dims, but stays with you. The tree rustles softly, though no wind moves, and you feel it. The garden, this entire space, it doesn't exist because you made it. It exists because you felt it. Every suppressed idea, every stifled hope, every late night wonder, they rooted here, and now they bloom. You find a bench, carved into the shape of two open hands. You sit, and for a long while, you say nothing, because everything here is already listening. You close your eyes. Let the scents wrap around you. Sweet, earthy, faintly electric, like rain on stone. And you breathe, letting the garden show you that growth isn't always loud. Sometimes it's silent. Sometimes it happens when you're looking the other way. Sometimes it waits for you to return. And you stand slowly. Place your hand on a large leaf nearby. Its surface pulses like a heartbeat you forgot was yours. You whisper something, not to the garden, but to yourself. And the leaf glows once more, a soft promise that nothing you've thought, nothing you've buried, nothing you've once believed then lost is ever wasted here. You walk on, carrying the scent of the soil, the softness of the petals, and the quiet certainty that every thought, every root, every breath still lives somewhere. And tonight, you remembered. You leave the garden slowly. There is soil on your fingers, scent on your breath, and something soft in your chest that wasn't there before. The path narrows, then bends, and you feel it before you see it. The stillness, that particular quiet that only comes when something important is near. You step through a thin curtain of mist, and there it is, the bridge. It stretches out in front of you, wide at the center, tapering at the ends, not suspended by ropes or stone, but by intention. It hovers gently above a slow-moving current. But this is no river. It's dream stuff, dark, shimmering, filled with shifting colors and vague, swirling shapes. Not water, but thought, longing, the detritus of half-formed wishes and silent prayers. You approach the entrance. 2 tall posts flank the path, each wrapped in glowing ribbons that rise and fall as if breathing. You place your foot on the first plank. It sighs softly beneath your weight, not in resistance, but in recognition. You take another step, and suddenly the sensation rises in your chest, a memory of something you're still carrying. It doesn't come in words. It comes in feeling, heavy, worn, familiar. You pause, because now you remember. This bridge is not walked with feet alone. It is walked with release. To cross it, you must let go of something. A doubt, a fear, a truth you've outgrown. Whatever it is, you know what it is. And even if you don't name it, your body does, your breath does, the bridge does. You stand still for a long moment, and with your next exhale, you allow it to soften. You don't throw it away, you place it down, gently, like setting aside a coat you no longer need. And with that, you continue walking. The bridge begins to glow softly beneath your feet, each plank lighting up as you pass, not brightly, but like footsteps remembered in a dream. The further you walk, the lighter your body becomes, not because you've lost anything, but because you've returned something. The wind picks up slightly, not cold, but present. It wraps around you like the whisper of a forgotten lullaby. You glance to the sides, and below the dream current swirls. Images rise, then vanish. A childhood door, a familiar song, hands once held. They drift like leaves across water, not asking to be reclaimed, just noticed. The middle of the bridge widens, forming a small circular platform. You stop there, look out across the mist, and for a moment, you see yourself, not your body, but your presence, your movement, your change. The you who stepped onto this bridge is already behind you, and the you who stands here now is more, not more better, just more you. You sit for a moment on the wooden platform. Let the wind move through your hair. Let the sounds, the deep hum of the current, the soft groaning of the bridge, your own breath, become one. And when you rise again, you step forward, lighter, quieter, more complete. The far end of the bridge rises gently, and as you approach it, you notice the mist parting ahead, revealing new light, not bright, but welcoming. You take the final steps. The bridge doesn't end. It simply fades, and you are on solid ground once more. But something inside you still floats, because tonight you crossed more than distance. You crossed into surrender, and the dream drifted with you. The mists part slowly. You step forward, and immediately you hear it. Tick, soft, distant, echoing from nowhere, and yet all around you. Tick, but there's no pressure behind it, no urgency, no chase, just a pulse, a sound that marks presence, not passage. You walk slowly now. The ground beneath your feet is made of pale stone, etched with spirals, arcs, symbols that feel vaguely familiar. The sky overhead is dim, but alive. Faint streaks of bronze and rose stretch across it, like veins of forgotten light. And rising ahead, the first clock tower. It's tall but not imposing, curved instead of sharp. Its surface made of dark stone that flickers in and out of visibility. You approach it, and you realize there is no door, no entrance, just a slow, endless movement of gears beneath the surface. They turn, not with purpose, but with patience. You hear the ticking again, and now a chime, low, resonant, like a bell struck underwater. It passes through your ribs, through your jaw, and settles behind your eyes. You pause beneath the tower and close your eyes. The sound surrounds you, not to measure you, but to hold you. And in that stillness you feel it. Zamanın burada unutulduğunu. It hasn't stopped, but it's let go of destination. You open your eyes and look around. The path continues between other towers, each one slightly different, some tall and thin, with translucent clock faces that melt in the mist. Others squat and wide with dials that spin in slow, impossible patterns. None of them match, none of them agree, and yet they all feel right. You walk forward, and your steps begin to align with the rhythm of the world, not with the ticking, but with the space between the ticks, that quiet moment where nothing is measured, only felt. You enter a plaza surrounded by 4 towers. In the center, a stone platform with no markings. You step onto it, and suddenly the towers begin to speak, not in words, but in tones. One chimes a memory, another hums a wish, a third vibrates with something you never said out loud, and the fourth is silent. You turn to face it, and inside its silence, you hear yourself, a younger version, a moment you once lived so fully. You didn't need a clock to remember it. It returns now, not to be relived, but to be released. You breathe deeply, let it move through you, then let it go. The silence holds it gently, and the moment passes. The plaza dims, not with darkness, but with completion. You step off the stone, and the ticking fades, not because time has ended, but because you've stepped outside of it. Now, you move slower, not from fatigue, but from freedom. There's no rush, no countdown, just breath, and breath again. You pass the last tower. Its clock face has no hands, just light. Moving in slow spirals, you pause and let it reflect in your eyes. This tower remembers not the hours, but the essence, the space between decisions, the stillness before becoming. You bow your head, not to the tower, but to yourself, for arriving here, unmeasured, yet whole. You continue onward. The mists return, but the sound stays with you, a quiet rhythm, your own inner time that needs no numbers to know you are here. You leave the realm of forgotten clocks behind. The ticking fades, and in its place comes stillness, not silence, but a rest, like the pause at the end of a long breath. The path beneath your feet is now smooth again, but cooler. Rounded stones nestled in soft mist. The air changes. You can smell it before you see it. Not fire, but wax. Soft, warm, familiar. You round a gentle corner, and suddenly, there it is. A vast, still body of water, stretching outward into shadows. Smooth as glass, dark as ink, but it glows, not from stars, not from moons, but from candles, hundreds, maybe thousands, floating gently across the surface, each one cradled in a small dish of silver or wood, and all of them burning, soft golden flames, steady, unafraid. They do not flicker from wind. They do not drown from water. They simply are. You step closer and kneel at the edge. The closest candle drifts toward you, drawn not by current, but by your presence. Its light reflects in your eyes. You lean closer, and for a moment, you hear something, a whisper, not from outside, but inside. A phrase, a sentence, something you needed to hear. You have not been forgotten. You don't know who said it, but it fits into your breath like it always belonged there. You exhale slowly, and the candle gently spins in place. You look across the water. Each flame seems to carry something, not memory, but message. Some flicker slightly, some pulse with intensity. Some are dim, but refuse to go out. You rise and begin walking along the curved stone edge. The water follows your rhythm, and more candles drift near. each one a thought you never finished, each one a goodbye you whispered only in your mind, each one a version of you that still lives. Somewhere in this light, you pause. A cluster of candles hovers near the shore. Their flames small but bright. You crouch, and one of them glows bluer than the rest. You gaze into it, and in the warmth of the flame, you see an old fear, one that once lived in your chest like a knot. But now, it's soft. The candle doesn't judge it. It accepts it, burns with it, transforms it. You reach your hand into the water, expecting coolness, but it's warm, not from heat, but from remembrance. You cup a small ripple, let it fall slowly between your fingers, and as it does, you feel something leave, not vanish, just settle. Like dust finding a resting place, you stand again, and all around you, the water glows, the candles drift, and somewhere deep within, you realize this place doesn't ask you to remember everything. It only asks you to be willing, willing to feel, willing to see, willing to listen. One candle begins to dim, its flame softens, but before it fades, it flares briefly, and in that flicker, you hear another whisper. This part of you is complete now. You smile softly, not because you're happy, but because you're ready. You step away from the edge, and the water remains still. The candles keep burning, not for you, but with you. You carry their glow now, a gentle warmth behind your ribs, a soft hum in your thoughts. And as you walk away, you don't say goodbye, because light like this never really leaves. You walk for a long while in silence. The candles are far behind you now, but their glow still lives inside your breath. The path becomes softer. Each step feels like walking on memory, warm, yielding, familiar. Then, ahead, you see it, rising from the mist like something older than time. A tree, vast, silent, its roots thicker than buildings, coiling deep into the unseen layers of the world. Its trunk is wide, curved with age, covered in bark the color of worn stone, and its branches stretch beyond sight, not upward, but inward, as if it reaches not for the sky, but for the soul. You approach slowly, not from fear, but from reverence. This is not just a tree. This is a witness. It has seen dreams form and fade, watched time bend around itself, held the silence between lifetimes. You come close enough to touch the bark, but you don't. You simply listen, and the tree listens back. Its silence is not empty. It's full. You feel it in your chest, the way you feel a story just before it begins. Then you notice something. At the base of the trunk, between two thick roots, covered in ivy and thyme, a door, not obvious, not trying to be found, but there, waiting. It's made of dark wood, but the grain shimmers like veins of light in stone. There is no handle, no lock, only a symbol etched at its center. A spiral, slow, deep, endless. You kneel before it, and as your fingers brush the surface, you feel something, a question, not spoken, but pulsing through the wood. Are you ready to leave behind who you were? To meet who you've always been? You don't answer aloud, you just breathe, and with that breath, the spiral glows, softly, and the door opens, inward, revealing not a room, not a chamber, but a descent, a gentle slope downward into warm amber light. You pause, look back at the tree. Its branches remain still, but you feel its presence. Go, it seems to say. the roots remember you, you step forward and begin to descend. The walls are curved, alive with soft glow, not torches, not lamps, just memory. You feel them as you pass, moments embedded in bark, feelings woven into wood, a quiet apology, a silent forgiveness, a dream that never had words. They don't stop you, they bless you, and as you walk, you feel lighter, not because you're leaving things behind, but because the earth is holding them for you. Finally, the slope evens out. You reach a circular space, silent, dim. At its center, a pool of still water, surrounded by roots. They curl like arms around the basin, and above, through an opening in the ceiling, you see the heart of the tree glowing faintly, pulsing, alive. You kneel by the pool, look down, and see yourself, but not just now. You see every version of you, layered, breathing, becoming. The reflection doesn't speak, it receives. You lean closer and whisper one thing, the truth you're ready to carry forward. Just one word, soft, sincere, and as you say it, the water ripples. The light above flickers, and the chamber exhales. You stand and turn toward a second passage, not the one you came from, but one you've always known would be there. The door beneath the world tree doesn't close behind you, because it was never meant to trap, only to remind. You walk on, with roots beneath you, light above, and something strong and ancient and purely you awake inside your breath. You step beyond the roots of the world tree, and immediately the ground changes. The moss, the stone, the warm air, they dissolve behind you. And in their place, a vastness, a silence, a gravity not of weight, but of presence. You stand on the edge of a terrain that isn't land, but not space either. It's something in between. A plane of ash-colored stone, so smooth it almost reflects, but not perfectly, because here, nothing is complete. Above you, a sky like obsidian velvet, streaked with soft pulses of distant starlight. No sun, no moon, just light and distance and quiet. You take a step forward. Your foot makes no sound, no echo, not even a vibration. You stop again and listen. Still nothing, but that's when you feel it. Your own presence, amplified by contrast. Here, in this silent place, there's nothing to hide behind. No distractions, no roles, just the soft gravity of who you are. When all else has quieted, you walk slowly across the stone. Each step feels like moving deeper into your own spirit, not into thought, but into space, the kind of space where breath is sacred and stillness is awake. You reach a ridge, and beyond it, a valley, but it doesn't dip. It opens like a wound or a memory. Inside the basin below, strange formations rise from the stone. Pillars, spines, shapes that seem almost organic, yet completely still. No movement, no sound. You descend. Your fingers brush the surface of one pillar. It hums, but not audibly. You feel it in your hand. A low vibration, like a thought not yet spoken, or a truth too large for language. You move through the formations and realize each one holds a feeling, not like emotion, but like absence. You stand before one that feels like a missed opportunity, another like a word you needed to say but never did, another like a version of you that never found its voice. These echoes don't haunt, they mirror. You sit on a flat stone and let the silence speak, not through sound, but through reflection. You close your eyes and listen, and slowly you begin to hear, not with your ears, but with your chest, a low, slow echo, not from the world, but from your own stillness. It says nothing, but it means everything. It says, "Here, you are only what remains after all the noise is gone." You breathe longer than before, and as you do, you feel the tension in your spine soften. The thoughts in your head loosen, the expectations drift. You open your eyes, and the planet remains the same, silent, dark, but not empty. Never empty, because what it offers is space for you to fill or leave unfilled. You stand again and realize this is the place your soul visits when it no longer wants answers, just room to echo. You take one last look at the formations and bow your head gently, not to them, but to yourself, because in this silence, you remembered a truth louder than any sound. You are enough, even in stillness, especially in stillness. You turn and walk again, no footprints, no trace, but the echo remains inside you. You don't remember how you arrived here. You don't remember a door or a path, only the sense of rising, slowly, as if something inside you, once heavy, once tangled, has finally softened. You open your eyes, and above you, there is only light, not blinding, not bright, but embracing, like dawn filtered through fog. You sit up. The surface beneath you is soft, not earth, not stone, but something in between. You press your hand to it. It gives, like memory. You stand slowly and realize you're not in a room. You're on a terrace, wide, open, endless, and beyond its edge, there is no ground, only clouds, layers upon layers of soft silver and gold. They drift and swirl like breath made visible, and in the distance, a city, floating, not resting on anything, just held by stillness and perhaps by grace. You walk slowly. The air is warm, sweet. It carries the scent of something familiar, something from childhood dreams. You cross a narrow bridge made of woven strands of light. It doesn't sway, it listens, and as you walk across, you feel weightless, not because you've lost anything, but because you've let go. The city rises before you now, not with towers, but with curves, domes that open to the sky, walls that breathe with the wind. Everything is soft here, rounded, as if this place was never meant to hold tension, only rest. You pass through an open arch, and the light shifts. It becomes golden, then pale rose, then a soft blue that matches the rhythm of your breath. There are others here, but you don't see their faces, only motion, slow, gentle, like dreams in human form. No one speaks, because here, there is no need. Every glance is understanding. Every breath is connection. You walk through a garden, but the plants don't grow from soil. They float, roots trailing like silver threads through the air. Their blossoms open towards you, and as you pass, you feel your chest expand, your shoulders drop, and something behind your eyes warms. You're awakening, but not into the world, into yourself. You come to a circular space, a dome with no roof, just sky above, and in its center, a pool, still, reflective. You kneel before it and look in. You see your face, but it's not the one from mirrors. It's the face you carry in dreams, softer, older, lighter. It smiles at you, and without words, you understand. You've traveled far enough, now you may rest. You sit by the pool, let the light soak into your skin. Let the breeze wrap around your neck like a shawl. Let your breath be slow and still and full. You close your eyes, and the city hums around you, not as sound, but as feeling. It holds you gently, like hands cradling a candle. And for the first time in a long while, you don't need to know what comes next, because this moment is enough. You lie back, let the clouds drift beneath you. Let your thoughts dissolve like mist. Let your spirit open like a window and sleep, truly sleep. The clouds begin to thin. The warmth lingers on your skin like the afterglow of a dream. But something shifts in the air, not colder, just deeper. You feel it first in your breath, a slight tension, a hush, as if the world is holding itself still. You walk slowly down a sloping path, the soft stone beneath your feet gradually darkening, becoming textured, grained like ancient bark. And ahead of you, you see it, the portal. It doesn't rise grandly from the ground. It doesn't shimmer or spin or blaze. It simply waits, a great oval ring standing alone among the mist, forged from twisted roots and carved wood, alive. It pulses faintly, not with magic, but with memory. You step closer, and the space around it thickens, like the air is remembering too. Inside the ring, you don't see another world. You see trees, tall, still, wrapped in shadow and gold. They don't sway, they listen. And beyond them, something you can't name calls to you, not loudly, but with certainty. Your chest tightens because you recognize the feeling, not the forest, but the ache of almost remembering, the ache of something left behind. You reach your hand toward the portal, and the ring responds. The roots shift slightly. A breath of wind curls outward, carrying a scent you haven't known in years. Dry leaves, burnt paper, a worn sweater, and suddenly, you're standing not in front of the portal, but within it. The world around you blurs, and the forest swallows you whole. You step onto soft earth. The ground beneath your feet is layered with fallen leaves, each one a memory flattened into silence. They don't crunch, they yield. The air is cool, but not cold. It wraps around you like a thought you've tried to forget. Above you, the canopy is thick, but shafts of pale light pierce through in quiet columns, illuminating fragments of the forest like photographs in reverse. Each tree here is impossibly tall. Its bark is etched with marks, not letters, but moments. Your fingers brush one, and you feel it. A voice from your childhood, not a word, just the sound of your own name being called. Softly, hopefully, you move deeper, and the forest grows denser, but never threatening. Every step takes you past shapes that feel familiar, though you've never seen them before. A broken swing, a red kite caught high in a branch, a table set for no one. These are not decorations, they are echoes. You're not just walking through the forest, you're walking through the rooms of your inner house, and each turn brings you closer to a memory, not just of events, but of feelings. You reach a glade, circular, open to the sky. In the center, a pool, its surface dark and smooth. You kneel beside it and look in, but you don't see your reflection. You see the moments that shaped you, the words you never said, the dreams you never admitted, the forgiveness you never asked for. And as you watch, the water begins to ripple, not with wind, but with acceptance. You place your hand into the pool, and the memory flows up your arm, but it doesn't drown you. It roots you. You feel something soften in your chest, not release, but integration. These memories aren't here to be erased. They're here to be honored. You rise slowly, and as you turn, you see it again, the portal, not behind you, but ahead, waiting, because in this forest, there is no line between past and future, only the moment you choose to carry. You step back toward it, and as you pass through, you realize you're not the same. You don't remember the journey here. No ship, no sky, only the sensation of drifting, of being carried, not through water, but through memory. And when you open your eyes, you're standing on the edge of a shore, soft sand beneath your feet, warm, smooth, familiar. The waves roll in gently, not crashing, not calling, just arriving, like breath returning to the body. You look out, and the ocean stretches wide and calm. Its color, an impossible blend of blue and silver, reflecting not the sky, but you. You step forward, and the sand shifts, not loosely, but like it knows you. Each grain adjusts, supports, welcomes, as if whispering, "You've returned." You walk along the shoreline. To your left, tall trees sway softly in golden light. Not palms, not pines, but something ancient, with trunks the color of sun-warmed stone, and leaves that shift like whispers. The air smells like salt and sunlight, but beneath that, there's something more. The scent of pages turned long ago, of blankets held close, of a name spoken just once, but remembered forever. You stop by one of the trees, place your hand against the bark. It pulses gently, and in that pulse, a feeling rises, one you haven't held in years, a sense of being known, not for what you've done, but for who you are when no one is watching. You move deeper onto the island, and the world grows quieter, not silent, but reverent. Even the breeze seems to step carefully. You pass a small stream, its water clear and slow-moving. Tiny stones line its bottom, each one etched with symbols, not written by hands, but by time. You reach down and lift one. It's smooth, cool. It vibrates faintly in your palm. You don't know what it says, but your body does. You carry it for a while, then set it gently beside the path, and the island seems to sigh, not in sorrow, but in gratitude. You continue and come to a clearing, circular, bathed in soft amber light, and in its center, a stone seat, carved from the island itself, not placed, but grown. You sit, and the ground beneath you shifts slightly, settling like an embrace. And then you feel it, the presence of the island. You are being seen fully by everything here, by the trees, the soil, the wind, even the light. You are not being watched. You are being welcomed. The island remembers you, not your story, but your essence, the part of you that existed before the noise, before the names, before the expectations. You close your eyes and breathe, and the breath doesn't feel like yours alone. It feels shared between you and this land, between your inhale and its patience. You place your hand over your heart, feel its rhythm, and realize you don't need to ask for belonging here. It has already been granted long ago. You rise from the seat, and the island shifts again, not changing, but adjusting, as if to say, wherever you walk, we will follow. You walk toward a grove now. The light through the trees casts soft patterns on your skin, each step lighter, as if the land beneath you is lifting you. With every breath you feel more intact. You reach the edge of a ridge and look out. The island stretches beneath you, curving gently into the sea. Its every curve feels familiar. Every breath of wind sounds like a long-lost melody. You close your eyes one last time and whisper to no one, "Thank you for remembering me." And in return, the breeze answers with silence and warmth and something like love. You step away from the shoreline of the remembering island, and the air grows heavier, not darker, but denser, as if it carries the weight of things too ancient to name. You walk slowly along a narrow path of obsidian stone. Each step echoes faintly, but the sound doesn't travel outward. It sinks downward, into the ground, like every footfall is being received by something below. Ahead, the trees recede, and the land opens, revealing a structure that seems to rise from the earth itself. Not built, but grown from silence, a great hall, its entrance marked by two colossal statues, their faces weathered, their eyes closed, their hands extended, palms open, not demanding, but waiting. You pass between them and cross the threshold. Inside, everything is stone. Smooth, cold, ancient, but not lifeless. The walls curve inward like the ribs of a sleeping giant. High above, a circular oculus allows a single beam of soft gold light to fall through. It lands on the center of the room, on a platform, carved with symbols that shift as you try to look at them, not in confusion, but in motion, because meaning here doesn't stay still. It moves with breath, with belief. Around the room, massive thrones line the walls, some intact, some crumbled, some covered in ivy and dust, and upon them they sit, the forgotten gods, not statues, not spirits, but presences, vast, still, and half asleep. You walk slowly between them, and with every step, you feel their gaze not on your skin, but on your essence. They are not watching, they are remembering, not you as you are now, but you as you were when you still believed in mystery, when you still whispered to the sky. You stop before one of them, a tall figure carved of stone and moonlight. Their face is soft, almost human, but their eyes are closed. In their hand, they hold a broken compass, and though they do not speak, you hear it. I guided you once, and I still wait. You bow your head, not in worship, but in recognition. You pass to another throne, this one cracked, overtaken by vine, its occupant curled inward, a god of silence, of secrets kept too long, and yet they pulse with life, because even forgotten, truth remembers itself. You feel drawn to the center platform. Step onto it, and as your feet touch the carved stone, the air thickens, the gods stir, ever so slightly, not waking fully, but acknowledging. One lifts a hand, just enough to mark your presence, not to call, but to bless. Above, the oculus flickers, the light changes, and for a moment, you are not in the hall. You are in a memory, not your own, but the memory of the gods. You see fires lit in ancient temples, hear prayers whispered beneath stars, feel hands raising bowls of water, flame, earth, and then silence. as belief faded, as names were forgotten. But you have returned, not to restore, not to plead, but to stand, to witness, to remember, and in doing so, to awaken something, small but sacred. You step down, and as you turn, you feel their presence not behind you, but within you, not loud, not commanding, but steady, a hum in your bones, a weight in your breath. You walk toward the exit, and the statues at the threshold remain still. But now, their eyes are open, just slightly, and for a moment, you are not alone. You are among the remembered and the remembering. The world narrows, as if the horizon has folded inward, and around you, only mist, thick, cold, alive. It curls around your arms like silk soaked in breath. Every sound becomes smaller here, even your footsteps, even your thoughts, as though the very air listens too closely to allow echoes. You walk slowly. The path is unclear, but your body knows the direction, drawn not by sight, but by something older, a pull in the chest, like the memory of a dream you never finished. And then you see it, first only the glow, soft, not piercing, a pale amber hue resting in the fog like a secret. Then the shape emerges, tall, cylindrical. No beams sweep across the mist. No bells, no warnings, just stillness and that quiet, unwavering glow. You approach. The stone steps leading up are damp. Moss has crept into the cracks, but your footfalls land gently, just weathered wood, and a handle that's been touched by many hands before yours. You press it down, and the door opens, without resistance. Inside, the light is dim, but present, it moves like breath on water, not lighting the room, but holding it, a weightless pressure that makes you want to whisper, as if speaking too loudly might wake the stone. You take your first step inside, and the door eases closed behind you, with no sound, only a soft hush, as though the lighthouse has accepted your presence. The floor is worn wood. Each board creaks, not out of protest, but out of memory. This place remembers every visitor, every step, every reason they came. You begin to climb the spiral staircase. Each turn rises into thicker air, lit only by the faint golden glow that filters down from above. And the higher you climb, the lighter your body becomes, as if something heavy within you is melting into the mist. On the walls, carved into the stone, are small symbols, eyes, waves, circles within circles. They aren't meant to be read, only felt. They hum beneath your fingers when you brush them, not with noise, but with presence. You reach the top, a circular chamber, walls of fogged glass, and at the center, contained in a vessel of crystal, pulsing, not fast, not slow, just there. You step closer, and as you do, the pulse adjusts to match your breath, to echo your rhythm. You are not standing near the light, you are meeting it. It has always been here, watching, not judging, not guiding, just witnessing. And now you stand before it, fully seen, fully accepted. You place your hand near the crystal, not touching, just feeling. The warmth that radiates from it is not heat, it is recognition. And for the first time in a long time, you realize you don't need to search, you don't need to climb, you don't need to change. The light was never far, only quiet, waiting for the moment you were ready to listen. And now you are. You sit beneath the crystal and close your eyes. The room hums with peace. The mist presses gently against the windows, and you breathe long, deep, present. Here, in the highest room of the lighthouse, you don't feel watched, you feel known, and that knowing wraps around you, settles into your spine, and whispers, you are not lost. You are always within reach. The light pulses once more, not brighter, but closer, as though it has stepped into you, or perhaps you have stepped into it. You remain there, still listening, until the world beyond the glass disappears, and only the glow remains, inside and all around. The light of the lighthouse still lingers behind your ribs, a soft echo, like the afterglow of a dream that didn't end, but simply became part of you. You descend its spiral stairs in silence. Each step feels slower, not out of hesitation, but reverence. The mist outside greets you like a familiar touch, and for a moment, the entire world seems to exhale. You walk now. The mist hums. The trees whisper not in wind, but in rhythm. Everything is preparing, not for your arrival, but for hers. You cross a low bridge of pale stone. The water beneath reflects stars you cannot see in the sky, because this place no longer reflects reality. It reflects truth, and then you see it, a temple, built not from marble, but from starlight folded into form. It rises slowly, humbly, with curved walls and no roof. Just openness, just moonlight. At its center, a raised circle of stone, smooth as silence. And there she stands, the moon priestess. Her back is turned to you, but she already knows you've arrived. She doesn't turn quickly. She doesn't speak. Instead, she breathes. And the air around her changes, softens, like gravity giving way to grace. Her robe flows like water woven with light, and her hair is crowned not with metal, but with phases of the moon, each one glowing softly, orbiting her like thoughts too gentle to become words. When she turns, you don't see a face in the way you understand faces. You see memory, reflection, recognition. She steps forward once, and suddenly, you feel everything. The moment you first began this journey, the weight you carried in your breath, the fears tucked behind your ribs, the wishes you never dared to name. And she saw it all along, not from above. Not in judgment, but in silence. She raises a hand, and with no touch, you feel your body ease, your shoulders drop, your jaw loosens, your breath deepens. You kneel before her, not in worship, but in honor, because something inside you knows. This presence is not here to fix you. She is here to reflect you. She leans down, places her hand just above your heart, and there's no sound, no light, only stillness. And then she speaks, not with lips, but with presence. You have walked far, not to find me, but to find the part of yourself that could meet me. You see fragments of your journey etched in the stars. The crystal forest, the singing arches, the city of clouds, each one a step, each one a version of you. The priestess raises her arms, and light pours through her fingertips, but it doesn't blind, it invites, and you understand. This is the moment you release the journey, not forget it, not erase it, but let it become a part of your rhythm, your dreaming, your sleep. She walks toward you again, and this time you stand face to face, presence to presence. She leans forward and whispers, "You are the light now." Then she steps back and fades, not vanishes, but becomes something else. Mist, wind, moon, and you stand alone in the temple, but never again lonely. You step outside. The night is still. The stars burn softly, and within you, everything glows. You lie down on the mossy earth, close your eyes, and let the breath carry you. This time, not into another place, but into yourself. Because this journey was never about leaving. It was always about returning. And now you are home.